it's Daisy Dimandz, and today on Daisy Deep Dives we are diving into the Ministry of Latent Places. It's a TikTok horror ARG. I will tag them down below. They're weird, they're creepy. I like them, so I think that you are gonna like them as well. So basically, the Ministry of Latent Places, I'm pretty sure, is an AI ARG with AI pictures and like a little script, and they make up different creatures and different areas that are spooky, different creatures that are spooky, different humanoids that are spooky. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Hedgehogs, the following is an urgent announcement for all citizens in the path of April 8th's total solar eclipse. Be on the lookout for various insect-like entities acting in an aggressive manner along the eclipse's path. Thought to be nomadic in nature, swarms of these bugs were documented wreaking havoc across the country during 2023's annular eclipse. Ministry researchers eventually lost track of the beings near Terrestrial, Texas, where it's thought the bugs burrowed into the earth to hibernate. The bugs are expected to emerge from their Terrestrial hives at 1:32 p.m. Central Daylight Time on the afternoon of April 8th as totality approaches the city. From there, the bugs will sprint across the eastern swath of the continent, chasing the moon's shadow while feeding on any living organism they encounter along the way. The bugs are expected to settle in Miramichi, New Brunswick. Here they will hibernate once again, awaiting the partial solar eclipse on March 29, 2025. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
So these are umbral bugs, and they live in Texas, and they hibernate and eat every living thing, including humans, I suppose.
Aqua wraiths. These haunting entities have been spotted near village of Four Seasons in Camden County, Missouri, dwelling within the murky waters of Lake of the Ozarks. Not much is known about the ghostly creatures, but they appear to travel in small pods of 2 or 3 and tend to congregate near the lake bed in low visibility areas. It is thought they do this specifically to avoid human detection. The forlorn howling of aqua wraiths can carry for miles in and out of the water. Local residents and visitors report a particular abundance of aqua wraith cries on certain moonless nights. Police reports confirm an uptick in missing person reports in the days following these dates. Ministry researchers suspect aqua wraiths to be either undead or phantasmal type beings who use their hypnotic wailing to draw humans lakeside. What is then done with the victims and their bodies is currently being investigated. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
So aqua wraiths seem to be weird mer-people that lure people on moonless nights, and they fall victim, whether they eat them or whether they become an aqua wraith, who knows.
Flesh collectors. Sightings of these well-dressed faceless entities have recently spiked near Youngstown, Ohio. Flesh collectors are believed to be agents sent to our realm from an unknown latent dimension. Their intentions appear to revolve around the brokerage of various Faustian bargains and the enforcement of their terms. Avoid condemned and abandoned locations, as this is where flesh collectors prefer to conduct their grim business dealings. Do not interact directly with a flesh collector, as merely being in the presence of these beings may result in acquired debt. The ministry has deployed undercover investigators in order to further understand flesh collector behavior and to document the fine print of their contracts. Debtors who are found to be in breach of contract are subject to the garnishing of one's corporeal form by way of an epidermal-based payment plan. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Flesh collectors, maybe Slenderman's cousin, who knows? But they deal in flaying people, so monetary value is flesh.
Blobs. These sentient masses of bacteria have been invading the homes and hearts of folks in Brooklyn, New York. thought to have been evolving inside the borough's sewer system since its creation in the late 1850s. These unsightly organisms have recently begun to emerge from the tub sinks and toilets of local residents. At first, horrified city officials began an aggressive extermination campaign against the globs. Both chemical and incendiary strategies were employed in this effort. However, after following the lead of a few brave individuals, Brooklynites have now been adopting the strange growths in droves. Glob owners claim that globs have temperaments very similar to that of certain small breed canines. Globs are loyal, excitable, anxiety-prone, and highly motivated by little treats. Glob owners encourage anyone looking for a pet to visit the local Glob Adoption Center located at 2336 Linden Boulevard. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Don't know about you guys, but I would love a glob. I would love this glob, and I would name him Kevin.
Arsonistas. A string of arsons have broken out across Sanford, Florida. A group of local housewives appear to be the primary culprits. The motivation behind the deadly burnings is currently being investigated, but it is suspected that the women may be acting while in a partially somnambulistic state. Arresting officers report finding the women watching the blazes from a distance while quietly humming to themselves. One officer stated it sounded like a lullaby or something. Apprehension of the suspects was uneventful. Another officer described the arrests as being almost peaceful even. Firefighters continue to combat the raging inferno late into the night. Residents of nearby Midway and Lake Monroe are encouraged to be packed and prepared to evacuate should either the fires or sleepwalking phenomenon spread beyond Sanford city limits. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Arsonistas, the best title for a B-movie horror if you ever did hear one. These housewives hum a tune while setting fire to anything and everything, it seems. And they may be a little cray-cray in the head.
Regular Hellstone. In 1959, a horde of infernal Hellstone tore through the latent membrane with a violent fervor. Emerging 5 miles northwest of Bentonville, Arkansas, they marched towards the nearest population center, hungry for flesh and thirsty for souls. However, upon arrival to Bentonville's picturesque town square, the Hellstone simply fell in love. The damned abominations were immediately taken by the adorable atmosphere and jubilant buzz of the townsfolk. The infernal Hellstone made the difficult decision to slowly wean themselves off of human and to plant their roots. Decades later, the Hellstone remain accepted and upstanding members of this vibrant community. Some Hellstone even went on to start their own successful businesses which are still around today. If visiting, avoid referring to the Hellstone as infernal, as the Hellstone have become offended by this descriptor. This particular gap has often led to dietary slip-ups from the regular Hellstone. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Hellspawn, who ripped through a latent membrane. Weird. This one looks like something out of Little Nicky, and they don't want to eat your flesh or soul anymore, although they do slip up from time to time.
Terrestrial jellies, found floating through the neighborhoods and surrounding forests of Lewiston, Maine. Terrestrial jellies are beautiful to behold, but must be approached with caution. Direct descendants of their sea-bound counterparts, these jellies have developed the unique ability to swim through Earth's atmosphere. Ministry researchers believe that the creature's incredibly advanced nervous system is capable of negating positively charged gravitons. This process inverts the phase of the quantum gravitational field in the jelly's immediate vicinity, thus allowing for its graceful levitation. Terrestrial jellies are highly venomous, and contact should be avoided at all costs. Due to the carnivorous nature of these airborne cnidarians, bird and small game populations in the area have dwindled significantly since the jelly's arrival in the 1950s. Lewiston residents are encouraged to keep pets inside during the early hours of the morning, as this is when terrestrial jellies are most active and looking to feed. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Extraterrestrial jellies. Now these things are beautiful. I'm not even gonna lie, if I saw this out in the wild, I would just sit there and just be amazed. I'd probably let it eat me, to be fair. And these jellies can float through Earth's atmosphere and congregate in forests.
Hedgehogs. Packs of these verdant swine have been wandering affluent areas near Brentwood, California, named after their leafy coat and tendency to lie in wait inside of bushes. Hedgehogs are highly aggressive predators with an appetite for expensive clothing and jewelry. If one spots a hedgehog, immediately remove all designer and name brand articles from one's person. Calmly set them on the ground and back away slowly. Do not attempt to flee until the hedgehog begins to engorge itself on the opulent effects. Under no circumstance should one attempt to conceal high-value items when confronted by a hedgehog. Hedgehogs are highly sensitive to the scent of privilege and can easily sniff out a pair of Balenciaga socks or an under-the-sleeve Rolex. Officials attempting to slow the rate of wealthy dismemberments are urging the public to exercise caution when treating oneself. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
This one is the funniest one. Obviously, it's a real hedgehog instead of a hedgehog, but it's a hedgehog that likes to eat wealth and privilege. Amazing.
Psychomoths. Many subspecies of these telepathic insects can be found throughout both the wilderness and inhabited regions of the Pacific Northwest. Unmistakably identified by their vibrant markings and large thorax-embedded eyeballs, psychomoths can be dangerous if encountered. These deceptively beautiful creatures are capable of thought interception as well as coercive persuasion. Records recount several instances of hikers and travelers being psychically captured and forced to do the bidding of a psychomoth, which may include feeding, protecting, or simply entertaining the insect. Psychomoths will often be sighted on the back of semi-trucks and other delivery vehicles. It is thought that the creatures prefer a nomadic approach to acquiring hosts and that hitching rides on long-haul vehicles preserves the energy necessary for successful mind control. Ministry biologists speculate that psychomoths may be relatively close to peepers in the phylogenetic tree. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Hitchhiking mind control moths? Sign me up. These psychomoths are the ultimate at mind control, and they're just transient, so you never know if one's gonna pop up and get you.
Floaters. Lots of floating earthworms have been reported in the skies above the Chicago suburb of Vernon Hills, named after their resemblance to the ocular phenomenon caused by collagen fibers within the vitreous of the eye. Floaters are drawn up from their soily homes by a rare lunar force. The invertebrates' heavenward journey coincides with the beginning of an astronomical occurrence known as the Major Lunar Standstill. This event cycles every 18.6 years and has not yet hit its apex. Similar scenes are expected to play out across the globe as the moon's declination approaches its maximum limit. It is thought that despite their name, earthworms have an extraterrestrial origin and that this bicentennial ascension is an ancient and instinctual harkening back to their home planet. Alas, gravity and evolution have weakened the once mighty earthworm, and the restless creatures are destined to fall back to Earth, trapped for the remainder of their natural lives. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Yes, guys, you heard that right. These are floaters. They are earthworms, not of this earth, actually extraterrestrial aliens.
I hope you enjoyed this creepy, weird ARG TikTok horror series, The Ministry of Latent Places. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps my channel out a whole bunch. You guys don't even understand how much it helps me out. I hope you guys have a good time and I'll see you next time. Bye!